Signs of spring are everywhere, and on my recent walk past the farms nearby, I wanted to show you some of my neighbors as they are rejoicing in the warming weather and the promise of spring. So this video today is going to focus on fun crafts for spring and Easter, with the featured character being the bunny rabbit. I'm so excited to share with you today's projects. I think you'll enjoy them. Turn your troubles into bubbles inspired this project. I found this bunny rabbit and the rubber ducky at Dollar Tree, along with some of the items I'm using for the bubbles. My name is Lisa, and we'll dive in now, and I'll show you how to make this delightful decoration. The first thing you want to buy is one of the rabbits from Dollar Tree, along with a package of the little rubber duckies, because no bath is complete without the little rubber ducky. You'll want to take the tag off these rabbits. They can be used in so many different ways, and I am going to put this project together, but it can easily be transformed into other seasonal decorations. The tub I found at Michael's, and I got it 50% off. So I paid about $10. And after the Easter season, I will go ahead and use it to hold soaps and little fingertip towels on the bathroom sink. But for now, we're going to give the bunny a bath. And to do that, you can use cotton balls, or in this case, I'm using these little white pom-poms. I purchased these along with some of the other embellishments that I'm using to create the look of bubbles and water at Michael's, using a 40% off coupon. These little styrofoam balls also work well, and you'll see here now I'm putting some of those into the tub as well. After the Easter springtime season, you can put these items back into their little bags and use that tub as a cute display for fingertip towels, small soaps, or create different arrangements seasonally. You could fill it with Christmas ornaments in the winter time. There are a lot of ways to use and reuse these items. Here I'm using this bag also from Michael's that has a selection of colors of miniature pom-poms, and I thought it'd be fun to just pull out the soft blue, and then I decided to also pull out some of the soft pink ones just to add a little bit of color and frothiness to the picture. You could also use vase filler. Those come in a variety of pretty colors. Now I'm going to add in some beads. I bought some bags of these pearls from the floral section at Dollar Tree, and they also are evocative of bubbles and bubble baths. So I went ahead and sprinkled some of those in on top of the base that we now have in place. As you fill the tub in, you can adjust the little bunny so that he sits up and his little paws are sticking out. And now I'm going to go ahead and add some pretty blue pearls. These are the finishing touch, I think, and I just sprinkled them, as you can see, all throughout the top. Again, when you're done with this, you can put all of your supplies back into little baggies and reuse them for other projects. But I think it's a delightful decoration for the Easter spring season. And now for la pièce de résistance, we're going to add on our little rubber ducky. And I think he just completes that delightful scene that is sure to elicit a smile from anyone who sees this. I also want to mention that you can use one of the galvanized containers from Dollar Tree as an alternative bathtub, and also the vase filler that they sell works well for some of the bubbles. So again, this project is just an inspiration, but you can modify it in any way that works best for you. You'll also really enjoy this next project. Here I'm using one of the Dollar Tree cylindrical vases. They're only $1.25, and there's just endless possibilities for creativity using these. I'm using this alcohol prep wipe just to go over the glass surface. It's a good tip for any smooth surface, plastic or glass, before you paint or decorate. This is the Waverly Plaster Chalk Paint that I'm going to use to paint onto the surface of the glass. And this darling little napkin came from a package I purchased from Amazon. Using a pouncer brush, I'm going to apply 2 coats of the chalk paint to the vase. It's important to thoroughly dry the first coat before you apply the second. 2 coats will give it nice, even coverage and allow your design to seamlessly blend into the background of the vase. Now that I have both coats applied, I'm once again using my little heat gun to thoroughly dry the paint. These little heat guns I've mentioned before are very useful and do hasten the drying process. They can be found on Amazon, among other places. Here I'm taking the napkin and I'm just separating the 2 plies. We want to keep only that surface layer of the design. Then I'm going to go ahead and cut out 1 square with the bunny rabbit face. From there, we will use our water pen to outline the design. These water pens are very handy for creating a deckled edge around your design. That will allow it to blend more seamlessly into the background. Once I've outlined the design with that water pen, I'm just carefully tearing that weakened portion of the napkin, and it allows me to make a nice tear all the way around that design portion. The water pens can also be found at Dollar Tree and have an inner chamber that you merely fill with water. This is a delicate process, but it actually works very well. You can see how easily that napkin does tear away from your outline. Now here's another useful tip. I have a plastic bag that I laid down onto the surface, and I'm going to flip my design upside down onto that plastic bag. That just provides more stability so that I can add some of the Mod Podge using a pouncer brush. This small bottle of Mod Podge can be found at the Dollar Tree. You can also buy larger bottles at Michael's and get them with the 40% off coupon, and you'll get a lot more value for your money. But for now, I'm using this pouncer brush and I'm just applying a small amount. You don't want to apply it too heavily. Only a small amount is required, and it works very well using this pouncer brush just delicately applied to the back side of your design. I also added a little bit of Mod Podge to the surface of the vase, and that way I have good coverage to adhere my design. The next step is just to pick up that plastic bag and lay your design right against the vase in the position that you like. Using that plastic bag technique as an overlay really does make it much more easy to handle. Now, with the plastic bag still in place, I'm just using my fingers to smooth across the design. That way you eliminate any air bubbles or any wrinkles. You can also use the back side of the ply that you removed from your design layer and use that to smooth over the plastic as well. That's another really good tip. And now, all you have to then do is peel away the plastic and your design is nicely in place. You can see how well this works. I was so happy to learn this tip recently. It has made these decoupage projects work so much better. And now I'm just taking the Mod Podge on the end of that pouncer brush, and I'm just going over any little areas that aren't perfectly well adhered. We're going to be adding other embellishments, but we want to make sure that all those edges lay flat. Before we add on some beautiful velvet ribbon trim, I'm using that heat gun once again to just dry everything thoroughly. An optional step is to add this Duraclear gloss varnish made by Decor. I ordered this on Amazon and I went ahead and just pounced this on to the bunny face just to add kind of another protective layer. Now, should you discover you have a small tear anywhere in your design, and that sometimes happens to me, I find it's very easy to patch it together. All you have to do is take another of the napkins, cut out the same little spot, and patch it right in like a jigsaw puzzle, using some Mod Podge to seamlessly blend it right back into the original design. Now we're going to add some beautiful velvet ribbon that I purchased from Amazon. I thought this gray looked so pretty with the gray in the design. It's very wide though, and I don't want to cover up too much of the rabbit design. So I'm going to go ahead and cut some strips from it. After I cut the strips, I'm using some hot glue against the back of the ribbon just to adhere it. You can see that I used a wider band of the ribbon along the bottom, and I just think that that velvet really looks beautiful, adding texture to the bunny's fur design. A narrower strip works beautifully around the top perimeter of the vase. And look how beautifully that just finishes it off. But we're not done yet. I thought it would be nice to add a little bit of bling. So I happen to have a little heart-shaped jewel that I applied as the little bunny's nose. And I'm also going to use some of the beads that I purchased from the Dollar Tree. This project turned out so beautifully. I think you will enjoy making one. It's so easy to do, very inexpensive to create, and you can see that adding these faux tulips with some of the Dollar Tree eggs on picks just finished it off so beautifully. You can also see how adding some of those jewels around the upper band of ribbon embellished it in a very sweet way. This is one of those delightful projects that offers you so much possibility depending on what napkin you choose, what paint color, and what coordinating ribbon and embellishments you choose. The fact that it's glass also means you could fill it with fresh flowers. And now, this is a peep at a project I'm going to show you in an upcoming video. But for now, we'll move on to our bunny-themed decorative eggs. For this very popular project, I'm using one of the plastic eggs that I bought in a package of 6 from Dollar Tree. You can see scattered there on my counter some of the other colors. I'm using a very soft buttermilk colored chalk paint just to pounce that color onto the egg. In between the 2 coats needed for full coverage, I'm using my heat gun and I'm thoroughly drying it before I apply the second coat. Using a design from a sweet bunny napkin, I'm using the same technique of separating the plies and having used also the water pen to create that deckled edge. Now that I have just that upper layer, I'm going to use the same techniques by placing it upside down on the plastic bag, using a pouncer brush, and adding a thin layer of Mod Podge so that we can flip it over and adhere it to the egg. Once again, you can see how well that plastic bag technique works to make it so much easier to handle that very delicate thin layer of design. Once again, I'm just using my finger to smooth out the design and eliminate any wrinkles. And it really does blend beautifully into the background. Here, I'm just using that pouncer brush again with a little bit of Mod Podge to secure that outer edge to the egg. The design is so charming, I decided to cut a larger section to go more fully around the egg. So I used the exact same process of separating the plies, using the water pen to create the deckled edge, turning it upside down with Mod Podge applied, and now placing it around the egg. That will enable it to more completely encircle the egg with what will appear to be a charmingly painted design. After placing it with the plastic bag overlay, I'm now just using my fingers to secure it in place. I'll then use the plastic overlay once again to give it a nice finished look by smoothing it out. Smoothing it with your fingers over the plastic works very well. Also, a crumpled up piece of tissue or that other layer of napkin, for example, works beautifully just to, again, continue to smooth it and create a very seamless appearance over the surface of the painted egg. And as you can see, the result is beautiful. It really does appear as though the design has been painted on the egg. I'm using a little bit of pink chalk paint, very delicately applied with a small pouncer brush, just to create a lovely blush color against those leaves and floral designs. It just adds another lovely dimension to the design. And now you can take some of these pretty adhesive jewels from the Dollar Tree. They come in adhesive strips. And I'm just going to use some of these beads singly as well as in strips to embellish the egg. So here I'm just pulling out some individual beads, and I'm going to adhere them to the egg in different places. You might want to use a drop of hot glue on the back. Although they are self-adhesive, the adhesive isn't that strong, and the hot glue works very well. You can see I've also added some little sparkly diamond jewels to the top, as well as some of the complete strands of beads around the lower portion of the egg. I added a sparkly jewel to his ear and some to the upper portion of the egg. And again, it's just such a beautiful project. On my previous video on my Easter playlist, I show you how to make this entire assortment of decorative eggs using the Dollar Tree plastic eggs. This is just the beginning of lots more wonderful springtime Easter-inspired crafts that I have planned over the next 2 weeks. So until then, do take care and God bless.